Uh-oh, uh-oh. Well, boy, this is a strange little tale here. I got to admit, for quite some time, I haven't had much interest in the Birds of Prey movie. But anyway, here's a little story from Bounding into Comics saying the Warner executives are not happy with the Birds of Prey film. So they've seen a cut of it and they didn't care for it. But oddly enough, the test audiences thought it was pretty good. So, but they're not happy, so they might want to interfere with it. Now, of course, as this article does talk about a little bit here, was the interference with the with Snyder's movies, and then of course the Suicide Squad. After the reception of Batman versus Superman, Warner Brothers got cold feet. And then they wanted Zack Snyder to change course. And then there was the terrible tragedy. His family suffered. And then Joss Whedon comes in to reshoot it. And come on, Josh, make it a Marvel movie and all that sort of stuff. This 11th hour interfering that just doomed Justice League. And with Suicide Squad, they rushed it. And they were in a bit of a rush here to begin with, because I think while they were finishing up Batman versus Superman, they already had greenlit Zack to go forward into the Justice League film. So by the time they get to where they want an entirely different movie, it's too late. This was 11th hour interference with that movie, and it just couldn't be done. And I remember hearing some story that even Joss Whedon said, hey, could you cancel the release date and push it into the next year, and maybe I can, change this around, because they wanted an entirely different movie. And he just couldn't do that with what they had. And they said, no, we got to get through the end of the year. And there was deals with the executives' bonuses for that. And they knew that no one else knew about it at the time. It wasn't public knowledge, but that the AT&T merger was coming, blah, blah, blah. All that type of stuff that just screwed up the whole thing. The problem was, since they had already decided on Zack Snyder's version, you pretty much had to stick to it. And come what may. Now, of course, there is the release the Snyder Cut movement that people want to just see it, and I want to see it too. Just if nothing else, out of curiosity, the details of the plot, that alone, the very fact that it had one, it's better than what the theatrical release of Justice League ended up with. So. The big lesson that I would glean from that is you stop interfering with the films like that. Your involvement is at the beginning when you make a decision. This is where we're going. This is what you want. Your director makes their pitch, what have you. So this is what we think we're going to do here, and this is what it'll be. And then you say yes or no. So you come in after the fact and try to change this and that and think it's going to be better, and it's more times than not going to happen when it's 11th hour. But here, from what I've heard and seen of Birds of Prey, it doesn't sound great to me. But there again, the test audience seemed to like it. I've heard this before. Keep in mind, test audiences thought Batman versus Superman was great and all this sort of thing. But this just doesn't look all that great. It seems to be taking from Ghostbusters template for a film. And every time they do that, it tells me you don't have a whole lot of that there. And you got to pile on that, and then as if you're going to shame people to liking the movie, because if you don't, then it means you're a misogynist or something along those lines, and that just doesn't work. And so the movie's either good or it isn't, but from what I can see, it doesn't look that great. Plus, it's done on the cheap deliberately, because that was the order from on high. I think Aquaman was probably their last big expensive superhero movie for a while. And so this one's not going to have that kind of money in it, but it probably wouldn't necessarily need it. But it's basically the Harley Quinn movie. Why it's called Birds of Prey, and the Birds of Prey themselves seem to be pretty much minor characters here. And I was never a fan of the idea of Harley Quinn being the anti-hero or anything. She's a psychotic murderer, And Catwoman, she can walk that line, but not a character like this. So I'm not crazy about the concept to begin with, and so on and so forth. And also, they said the screening audiences really liked Ewan McGregor's performance as Black Mask. Of course, Ewan McGregor is a solid actor. I'm sure he did very well with what they gave him, and that seemed to be the high point of the film as it is. And but apparently Black Mask will be gay, which means his original story is going to have to be radically different if you know anything about the comics. So once again, we got to do that. There's plenty of gay characters in the DC universe. Why they aren't there, I don't know, but you see the insult here. I mean, no, we got to take the straight characters and make them gay. The actual gay characters just aren't good enough. I mean, so, well, whatever. So that's the changes they made. I don't know what it is that apparently the executives are worried or thought it was bad. And depends on who was this test audience they tested it for. And does that match enough of a market to make a profit off the film? Because even if I'm someone who doesn't care for it, I probably won't even see it. It doesn't matter if you've got an audience that's profitable for you and they like it. So, it'll work. But anyway, yeah, and it goes on about what they did with, now we're learning that the Cyborg had this whole other story in the Snyder version. They cut all that out. Boy, that's not woke, is it? I don't know what they were doing. But anyway, so is the new DCEU doomed? Yeah, probably could be. I don't know, because I think Aquaman probably caught them off guard, and they don't really know what they're doing. And I don't even know if they still have Henry Cavill on board as Superman. It's long past time to have done yet another Superman film. But if they don't have the ideas, it's probably best that they don't. I don't know. And now Bad Robot will be coming in. Oh, boy. After what they did to Star Trek. Imagine what they could do to DCEU, huh? Yeah, you thought it was bad before. Just look up the premise of J.J. Abrams' Flyby Superman script. Oh, my God. Oh, and you thought that Nicolas Cage movie was bad. Whew. Gee. Oh, well, who knows if that happens. Oh, yeah. Then maybe Birds of Prey won't be so bad after all. Anyway, there you go. Birds of Prey. In trouble? Maybe, maybe not. Should it be interfered with? Boy, I'm usually against it, but maybe it should be. I don't know. But if the test audience likes it and they think there's a large enough market based on that test audience, then they should just leave it alone. And that's how that goes. So there you go. Birds of Prey. Yeah. Thanks for listening and watching and all that good stuff. Why not like and subscribe? Sure, why not? What else are you going to do? And check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Yeah, that's right. You.